Okay, well, welcome. If you have seen SCP-2363, I did mention there I'm re-recording SCP-2363 till SCP-2369 because there has been some technical difficulties on my side, not for YouTube, on my side. So I have to re-record a bunch of SCPs again. Not sure if this came out a couple hours later after that one, or if it's another day or anything like that. I assume it will be a couple hours later. I assume. But yeah, how about we get started? Because this one's a shorter one, and meaning I can record some more afterwards. But hey, this one is an SCP. Somebody just saw the one I looked up. This one is an SCP written by an author without an author's page called Minacht or Minacht. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's M-I-N-N-A-K-H-T. So I'm just gonna say Minacht, just to give it a bit of a flair. You know, a little bit of a flair. And they wrote the SCP called Shaped Like Itself, which I think is actually quite an interesting one. So I hope this video will be seen by by a lot of people. At the end, I always hope people see the videos, not for my own sake, not for my channel's sake, mostly because I want the authors and the SCP itself to get some more attention. Because there's a lot of SCPs that don't get a lot of attention. It's like when you have behemoths like 096 and 303 and 682 and 300 and so on and so forth. You have these massive ones that everybody knows. And then there's a couple ones that that more people know about. There's a lot of SCPs that just don't get any attention. So I always hope that like my videos kind of help them give a little bit of attention. But yeah, here we go. Object class safe, special containment procedures. SCP-2364 is to be kept in a secure storage lock on side 19, on top of a pressure sensor with tracking devices secured to it and completely covered by a cloth draped to wait, did I actually do something wrong? Did not. To date, SCP-2364 has not breached containment. SCP-2364 should not be directly observed by Foundation personnel. SCP-2364 is an object possessing an anomalous shape. Indirect observation of SCP-2364 is impossible. It does not register on any kind of visual recording equipment, such as video or photo cameras. SCP-2364 weighs approximately 127.5 kilograms and fits in the space 40 centimeters by 55 centimeters by 60 centimeters when appropriately rotated. The distance between what is currently considered to be SCP-2364's two most distant points is approximately 90 centimeters. SCP-2364 has resisted any and all attempts at deformation, including all necessarily destructive methods of sampling, retaining a smooth surface. Tests indicate SCP-2364 is most likely a solid mass of one unknown material observed to be a magenta in color. Volume of SCP-2364 has been measured, thoroughly submerging it in water, resulting in 55.44 liters of water being displaced. SCP-2364's anomalous effect causes any living beings which has viewed it at any point to be unable to describe its shape using any similes, including naming the shape or object anything that would suggest resemblance to a known object, instead using an abstract given name to refer to it. Both SCP-2364 and 2364 are names which can be used to refer to the object. Any individuals affected in this way are capable of recognizing the shape of SCP-2364, even if most of the object is obscured from sight by obstructions. This effect does not extend to reproductions of SCP-2364, such as plaster and metal casts produced for testing purposes. Individuals which have seen SCP-2364 describe such reproduction as almost SCP-2364 shaped, but slightly different. Yeah, I think it's kind of funny how there's no similes to describe this one, so SCP-2364 becomes the simile. I am the simile. I used the Rorschach test as a thumbnail, or like at least something akin to that, I believe, because I was like always thinking like, oh, the Rorschach is always kind of like a shape that is very dependent on the perspective of the person and the current situation in life, right? Because somebody can see a Rorschach test and be like, that's a butterfly, and it's like, no, that's a water splash, no, that's a bush, no, that's a cloud, and so on and so forth, you know, like, depending on the mental state. So I decided to use that as a thumbnail because I was like, this, I don't know how else It's very hard to make a thumbnail of an SCP that is described undescribable. You know what I mean? It's very difficult to make that happen. Foundation personnel should not be exposed to SCP-2364 if possible. The object anomalous effect is however harmless as currently understood. Personnel exposed to SCP-2364 accidentally or prior to the discovery of its effect are permitted to resume work as normal. See Document A for the current list of affected personnel. The effect has been found suppressible by amnestic treatment. Test subjects for getting the shape of SCP-2364 and not recognizing representations of it as similar. Re-exposure to SCP-2364 itself affects past subjects as normal. Should the effect prove to be detrimental, all living personnel named in Document A should undergo amnestic treatment at first opportunity. Two-dimensional artistic representations of SCP-2364 have been made. The resulting two-dimensional shapes have not been recognized as that of SCP-2364 by both affected personnel and unaffected personnel previously shown a reproduction of SCP-2364, the most common answers being that the pictures look like some kind of shape or a magenta ink blot. I don't think I made the thumbnail magenta though. That's the only thing that I messed up on. I could see if I could like quickly fix that. Subjects from both groups did, however, agree to the possibility of there being some link between the representation and SCP-2364 upon suggestions being made by personnel conducting the test. Again, this is also a little bit that made me realize, like, oh, maybe it's like a Rorschach test type of situation. SCP-2364 appeared in an unused containment cell at Site 19 between 2021 and 2028, being discovered on the latter during a routine weekly check of an unused cell. The method by which SCP-2364 has appeared in the cell is currently unknown. On 2000, D92357 has been introduced to SCP-2364 for testing purposes. D92357 has been noted as possessing associative grapheme to color synesthesia. After observing SCP-2364 for 1 minute, D92357 described the experience as satisfying, knowing that the thing was magenta. Further tests indicate a permanent association between SCP-2364's shape and its color, the plastic representation being noted as not the right color. The association has been found to persist through amnestic treatment. In light of the discovery, further research on cynesthetic subjects followed. After exposure to SCP-2364, subjects indicate various associations between the color magenta, SCP-2364 shape, and a loud sound later identified as a clear 1230 Hz note. Despite having had different associations previously, later tests have found 1230 Hz to be the material's resonant frequency. Yes. Very simple one. I do like that again. I do like the idea that it's like a Rorschach test, but like instead of you describing it as like, oh, I see this, or I think I think it looks like that. It literally is a Rorschach test where you're like, I don't know what that is. It looks like the SCP. Which you're able to go be like, what do you mean? It's SCP-2364 shaped. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. That's all I will say, because I don't know how else to describe it. Which, like I said before, it's with that information, it's really difficult to be like, okay, how do I make a thumbnail for something that even the Foundation's like, I don't know how to describe it, dude. It looks how it looks. There's nothing else I can do. Sorry. But yeah, no, I think this is a nice little idea. It's also, see, this is why I'm also saying though, like, this was a shorter one. But I would say the room farm is like a lot more intense of a story, of an idea than this one, right? But it's really interesting to see how like the room farm has only 25 upvotes, while this one has 102. Which again, it could be because you're uncomfortable with the topic and people are like, I don't like that, take it away. Or maybe because like, oh, there's still like open questions like, oh, where did the women come from? Did they, like, even though we have missing reports, like how long did they age? Did they look different? Did they, what happened, what's going to happen to them next? When he came out of the earth, because I theorized there was like a dead body of a woman in the earth and he just got birthed by that as like a little backup, you know? That's what my theory is. but the log itself doesn't say that. I could be totally wrong, and I could be... Actually, no, I think I also I also mentioned how in the womb farm, it could be Mother Nature that gave birth to him. Literally a mother, you know. I think that also was mentioned, which is funny to say that now after I already finished reading that. But yeah. So this is a very simple idea. I do like it though. I do like it. And I will... Now I have to continue to read other ideas because... Other SCPs because... yeah, I'm just annoyed. I'm just a little bit annoyed that there happened to be... like 7 SCPs that got the same issue. I'm just glad that the Pluto one didn't get shafted like that, because that one got a lot of views. And nobody said, hey, your sound's gone. So I'm glad that one... Also, I was really excited for the Pluto one to begin with, so... That one is like one of my favorite of the 10 I read at that stream. But yeah, let's just keep going. I wish you all a good day. I hope... Let's see, again, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but... Sorry about the neck crack. But yeah, if you're watching this all in a row, thank you so much. I appreciate that you putting your time into watching SCPs that should have been fine and already up and running. But yeah, I'm glad you guys are supporting me this way again. Thank you so much. So yeah, let's continue. I got more to do.